Uh, Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to look at the module 2 of AutoAppy, and I will just quickly share my screen. So this is the website of AutoAppy. So we have already covered the module 1. To learn the module 2, we will first click on the documentation, which is learn.autoappy.com, and we will click on AutoAppy Foundation course, which we are currently doing recording, right? So we have already completed the module 1, which is getting started, and cover all the lessons, 6 lessons, which are available from what is AutoAppy, automation, and how you can play along the workflow canvas. Now, the second module, which is first workflow, how you can create your first workflow, is the second module, which we are going to look, right? So in this module, we are going to see the first lesson, and the lesson name is what are apps, tasks, and nodes, right? So what is app, action, or task and nodes, right? So to demonstrate that, we will come again in AutoAppy and click on workflows. This option will be available once you are logged in. So when you click on workflows, what we can do, we can create a new workflow, and the name of the workflow I'm going to give is going to be module 2 lesson 1, so that it will be easier for us to recall. So this is the new workflow. So you can see there are multiple apps that or applications that are available. Now you can see the word trigger, which we are going to look in our next lesson, which is what is the difference between trigger and action, in which we are going to see what is trigger. But for now, the trigger is the first node that is added in your workflow. Now, what is node, which we are going to soon look at that. So we are currently looking what is apps in AutoAppy. So apps means whatever the applications you can see here is known as apps. So when you select an app or application in AutoAppy, for let's say Google Sheet. So when you select Google Sheet, there are multiple options that are available. Now these are categorized in trigger and action. So you can see there is a trigger as well and action. So when you select a specific application, the options that are visible are known as tasks in AutoAppy. So in simple, when you select an apps, and the options that are available are known as tasks. And now the task can now this is the canvas, which Canva whiteboard, which we will be using. So once you select an app, there all the options are known as tasks, and tasks can be divided in triggers and actions. So what is the difference between trigger and app actions? We are soon going to look, but our current aim is to know what is task. So for now, let's just focus on this. So when you select any option in an app, so let's say for now I have selected new row uh, added or updated. So this is app, and this is the task that we have selected. And when we do add first app, so the node or the box that has been added is known as a node. So I will just so this is the node that has been added in the workflow canvas. So this is known as a node, and the above name, which is Google Sheet, is the name of this is the app, right? So this is the app, and maybe later, and this the bottom name, you can call this as tasks, right? And as we have already discussed, the task can be divided into the two, which it can be trigger, right? Or it can be action, right? It can be trigger or it can be action. So as you can see, because of lots of typing, it has gone. But yeah, app can, so this is the app and task. So I will just refresh so that uh, this, I just downloaded this extension for the sake of explanation. So there might be some glitches because of this extension. So let's refresh. So yeah, all the data is here. So this is the app and this is the task, right? So if you again click on the plus icon to add more nodes, so this one box is known as one node. So if you so these are the again different applications that are available. If I click on Mailchimp, you can see there are different again actions or a task, right? So if I call task or trigger, the both are known as if I say action or trigger, the both are tasks of an application, right? So for now, I will select an action which is get interested info, and if I add this node, so one more box will be added. So this is the first node and this is the second node. So similarly, you can add more number of nodes in your workflow, right? So yeah, so this is the one node, second node, and third node. So if you wanted, so what exactly a node and task? So we have already seen visually, like what is the app, task, and node. But if you have to relate this with the real life, so you can consider, I have just drawn this. So, app, you can consider an app as a person. So, let's say it is a teacher. So, if you select app as a teacher, so they have different functionality that they can do. Let's say they can take attendance. One teacher can take attendance, or teach a topic, or give a homework, or check a homework of the next day, right? So, or the previous day, check the homework of the previous day or give the homework of the next day. So there might be some grammatical mistakes here. So yeah, so this is a teacher which can perform these actions or tasks, right? So similarly, if you consider a different example, there might be a shape which can perform different activities or tasks, which can chop vegetables, cook dish, uh, then plate the food, which is properly arrange the whatever he has cooked, and then serve to a customer. It's a different task. Similarly, if you consider delivery boy, uh, what the actions or what are the tasks that he can provide. Now, task. Why I'm saying task is because, as I mentioned, a task can be trigger or action, not specifically only trigger or action, which will like in our next lesson we will see why what's the difference between trigger and action. But yeah, if let's say assume that if a delivery boy is an application, then these are his task. And sorry, and if a chef is an application, so this might be his task. If a teacher is an application, then this might be the task, right? So similarly, in at Auto Appy, if you select an application, let's say Google Sheet, right? This is the button for maximize and minimize. So yeah, for now we'll keep the default, right? If you select application like let's say Zendex, so these are the available tasks or actions that are there that you can select, and each actions has different meaning, right? Now what is that meaning we will see in next upcoming videos. But so these are very important when you are learning workflow or automation, right? Because if you see, you don't have to just focus like connect first is a Google Sheet, then MailChimp and Google Docs. No, but you also have to focus like Google Sheet and what is the sub action that you have selected is new row added or updated. Then you have to select MailChimp and the next is like get interested info and the Google Docs and create a document. This is the random thing I have added. So by combining this, one workflow is actually created. Right. So, how? So, which are the application you have to select and which is the sub action you have to select? Right. This depends upon your requirement, what exactly you wanted to create. Now, just for analogy, this might be confusing at earlier, but yeah, just watch this entirely, and once this is completed, you will understand this in much clearer way. So among this all, I will just zoom and focus on one application. So if the teacher is one application who has different responsibility, take attendance, teach a topic, give, and if you select a teacher, which is an application, the logo of teacher is same, but you have just selected teach the topic, right? Then a teacher and teach the topic is one node. So, and that node is in one workflow, right? In different workflow, which means maybe in different workflow, which is let's say demo workflow, you have selected same, which is Google Sheet, and new row added or updated, which means feature, and take the attendance, which same, but it is in different workflow. That's why this is the different work node. And this is the topic we are going to cover in much detail in our third module, which is configuring the node. But I'm just covering this so that it is going in a sequence, right? That's why. But once this course is entirely completed, you will understand what I'm trying to explain in much more detail because I'm trying to relate everything at one place. So now focus here. Uh, so okay. So if you select a teacher and a specific action that teacher can perform. Now say uh, teacher is one entity who can perform different activities. Teacher can take attendance, teacher can give, let's say, a teacher can teach a topic, or teacher can give homework or check homework of the last day, right? These are the activities, or there might be different more activity that teacher can perform, right? So similarly, one application like Google Sheet has multiple possibilities, right? Or Google Drive. So while automation, if you select, let's say, uh, Facebook, right? So Facebook has multiple activities, which is like currently we don't have Facebook. We are going to integrate that. But Facebook, just for analogy, if you wanted to use a Facebook, and Facebook might have multiple activities, which means comment on someone post or like someone post, then send a friend request to someone, and let's say unfriend someone. So whatever the functionalities are there of an application. So these are the different functionalities available, and all the functionalities combinedly known as tasks. Now few functionality are known as triggers and few functionalities are known as action. And why they are different is like we will learn in the next module. But for now, if you select an app, you have to select what is the sub functionality. If you want to connect to Facebook, like what is the action you wanted to perform with the Facebook? Do you wanted to send a message to someone, or do you wanted to like someone's comment? So depending upon what you are selecting in the Facebook, uh, everything will change. So which we will learn in detail when we are going to look configuring the node. Like what is the node? But like first, before the configuring the node, we have to first create a proper node. So this, whatever we are learning, is to create a node. So when you select this, which is an app and a sub action, app and an action, then entirely this is known as a node. Because and when it is used in a specific workflow, in our case it might be demo workflow. When you select a Google Drive and a move folder, so this is a node. And one more thing is that the node might repeat. To explain that, in this particular scenario, I will erase everything. You might again select Google Drive. Again, you might select Google Drive and select again the same action, which is move a folder. Now, technically, we are going to uh, look when is the practically you are going to use this, but this is all, this course is from the theoretical point of view. Soon we are going to have a practical videos on this, right? But once you select same app and same action, right? But these are two different nodes. Why? Because the position of the nodes are different. Position means not the up and down, but like this is used on the second position, and this is used on the third sequence. So this everything, every node is unique, right? So this is the unique node, and this is unique node. So whenever you add a node, you have to perform uh, all the steps, which is like I'll just erase this, close this, and just to expand on and erase and close this, right? So or else you can just refresh the page so that it will just be in this particular sequence. So what I'm trying to explain, this is, this three lines. These are the three lines, right? If you see my, if you see, this is the three lines, right? Instead of color picker, I just close this and I'm trying to get used to with it. Okay, so this is the three lines which are known as hamburger menu. So if you click on this, so there are three steps which we are going to look in module 3, configuring the node. But I'm going to continue the same example, so that's why I'm explaining here. So every node has three steps that you have to complete, which is setup, then configure, and test. So even the node is Google Drive and move folder, Google Drive and move folder, you have to repeat all the three steps, which is which is setup, configure, and test. Why? Because this is different node and this is different node. Although it looks same, but it is different. Why it is different? Because a node means a node is a combination of app, then a sub action, and a position. So at which it has used technically. So you don't have to learn everything this technical, but I'm just explaining. So because if when things will get complicated, to know or understand in much clear way. So, so that, yeah. So this is different node and this is different node. So you have to properly configure all the steps which are required. In this hamburger menu, where when you will click, there is a three steps which is setup, configure, and test, which we will look soon. So you have to complete all the steps for different nodes, right? And after that, okay. So, yeah, so this is about nodes. So we have seen what are apps, what is task, and nodes. So, with the combination of an app, this your workflow is created. So if I have to take this example of take attendance, so if uh, so you can create a workflow. But before you create a workflow, you have to understand the next topic, which is the trigger and action. So I'm just covering the theory in this particular module, and once the theory is completed, we will just create different examples, practical automation which is used in real life things. But I'm trying to first explain this theory. Maybe we might come again with a new course in which there will be theory, practice, theory, practice, theory, practice. But now we are just covering the theory at one go. Then we will cover the practical example so that it will be in combine. It is going to be one course, and we will just try to improve our course so that in future our explanation will be better and we will be able to explain you in a much simpler way. Okay, but yeah, stick with us. I'm sure at the end of this particular course you will be able to understand A to Z how to use AutoAppy and how to implement it in a real life world. Right. So for now, we are going to see what is trigger and action. So, but before seeing trigger and action, what we'll do, see, you have understand and what is an app, and an app can have multiple options, which is known as task. Now, this task can divide in two things, which is trigger and action. Uh, so here, maybe new homework submitted by a student to teacher is trigger, and check the grade of the and do some or perform some action like is an action. I'm complicating, I'm confusing this, but yeah, I'll try to come up with a new thing. Maybe a new student added to a class. So if a teacher is an application and new student is added in a class, so this is a trigger. If something like this, then this is a trigger. Trigger means if something happens, what you wanted to do. So this is a trigger. But what is action is performed by that particular application. If that application has to do something, if we have to take a real life example of again a Facebook, right? So let's say someone send you a friend request. So this is you can consider if the app is Facebook, if someone send you a friend request, so you can consider this as a trigger. It is triggered by something else. So someone has sent you a friend request. So although you have selected Facebook, so if someone send you a friend request, this is you can consider as a trigger. But you wanted to send a message to someone. This is action. You wanted to perform something. Is an action, right? It is very self-explanatory, but for the beginner, it might be very confusing. That's why I have take this analogy of teacher, chef, and delivery person. This is my first time explaining this, so maybe it is confusing, but with time we'll improve our explanations. Again, and same. If someone submits, homework to teacher, you can consider this as a trigger. It might trigger means it might wake up the teacher to do something, right? If someone submitted the homework, the teacher has to do something. Maybe the teacher has to give the grade on that homework, right? If a new student is added in a class, so although the application is teacher or a class, so if a new student is added in a class, so the teacher might have to do something. It is might. So if teacher has to do something, which is like add a student name to attendance sheet, it is an action. If exam is scheduled, now teacher, like someone scheduled their exam, now teacher has to do some action, which is send a reminder to a student. So it is very so you can consider if something happens, which is like if something happens, we call this as a trigger. If we have to do something, which means if something happens to the application, which is something happens to the application, it is known as trigger in very simple term. And if the application has to do something, it is known as an action, right? Learn this so that with time you will understand it. If something happens to the application, don't consider teacher or something. Maybe in our scenario, let's say let's the trigger and action is the next workflow and just to save, right? So see, this is the first app. If something happens when you click Google Sheet, right? So you can see new row added or updated, which means something happened in a Google Sheet. You wanted to, if something happens in a Google Sheet, which means someone add, maybe if someone adds or updated any row in a Google Sheet, right? This is trigger. And instead of that, let's say Google Form, a new response received. If someone fills the form, then you wanted to do something. This is a trigger, right? If someone fills the form, you wanted to do something. In Google Drive, it might be these are the actions. There is no trigger in Google Drive. So let's say Monday.com. So item name change. If someone use the Monday.com, if there is an item in Monday.com, if the name of the item change, it is a trigger. You wanted to perform something on that. You wanted to do or perform some action on that, right? So similarly, if it is a Google Sheet, there are no action in the there is no trigger in Google Sheet. So let's take MailChimp. If new subscriber, if new subscriber is added in a MailChimp, so this is a trigger. Then you wanted to do something. If let's say new subscriber is added to a MailChimp, you wanted to send something to that subscriber. If let's say a new subscriber, if someone unsubscribe your tag list, then you wanted to do something. So whatever the first node you generally is a trigger. So if something happens, you wanted to perform some action on that. So although with more examples, this will clear. Uh, in future practical example, these are the things which will be clear, right? So for now, we will take a form which we have already taken forms.app because I have already done an example on this. Forms.app is an example. Instead of Google Form, for now we are using forms.app. You can use Google Form, Type Form, or your website form using Elementors, anything. But for now, we are just taking a form, right? So if you select a form, if someone fills the form, you wanted to do something. Let's say you are running a website of yoga classes or a fitness business, or you're running a webinar. You wanted to, if someone fills the interest in your webinar, you wanted to send them a welcome mail or message, right? If someone, if your employee feel, let's say your employee want an holiday, so you have fill a Google form or any kind of a form, and you want as soon as they fill the form of holiday or leave application, you wanted to send them a mail that your holiday is approved or not based on ChatGPT response, like maybe something, or else you wanted a reminder that your employer has filled the form on your WhatsApp number or your on your email, any kind of automation, or you wanted to update an HR, or there are different things, but it is like something happened, which is what happened is like someone fills the form. So this is a trigger. So there are multiple triggers. So to understand trigger in very depth, what we will do, we are going to create more examples in the future, right? And we will also cover when we will do practical examples. At the time also we will cover more example in a trigger. But trigger is generally the first node. So if we have lots of nodes, right? For now, we'll just add this. So only this node is known as trigger. And after that, we wanted to send a mail. So this is, so see, you can just select an action, right? You cannot select trigger from now onwards. So you wanted to send them a mail, and after that you wanted to send them a WhatsApp. Let's say for WhatsApp you can use party. You wanted to send them a WhatsApp. If someone fills the form, you wanted to also send them a WhatsApp group link or message on WhatsApp. And after that, you also wanted to add them in a Google Sheet. So insert a row in a Google Sheet is again an action. So whatever the things you are performing after that, right? And even you can create a branches, which means if the new form is for let's say holiday. So you wanted to send a holiday mail and then holiday WhatsApp message, and this and wanted to update that record in Google Sheet of a holiday. But instead of that, if you want that when to send a different Gmail, now even though it might look the same, I have already explained, even this is the node Gmail send email, but we are going to configure it differently. Like what is the configuration? We are going to see in next video how to configure. But let's say you wanted to send here mail, but in this particular mail, it might be, okay, here a holiday is approved. There might be some logic, how to add a logic. We are going to see in future videos, which is after 1 or 2 videos. Right. So if the holiday is approved, send them a mail of your holiday is approved and send them a WhatsApp message, and also add the Google Sheet that this person got this holiday. But instead of that, if holiday is rejected, so this is also whatever I'm doing is also known as branch. So if the holiday is rejected, you can just send a rejected holiday WhatsApp message and add in a Google Sheet with a tag that this is. Uh, the holiday are pending. So how to send this logic, we are going to see in a future videos. But the point here is it doesn't has this doesn't has to be it doesn't has to be what we call uh, it doesn't has to be same. I have just for I have confused this. I think I might have confused you again by adding same exactly identical nodes, but it doesn't has to be same identical node. But my point was uh, to explain this particular even this is again a Gmail and send email, and this is also Gmail and send email, but these are different nodes, right? Now, how that are different is we are going to look in the module 3, which is configuring the node, and with a practical demonstration as well. But for now, I'll just refresh this, and we'll just delete this everything and just keep it in file. So let's say, and just refresh this if you find anything. And if you wanted to delete entirely, so just delete current node and all the child node and delete. So everything will be deleted from that node. We will see how to delete a node and etc. in upcoming video. But my point here is whenever you, so in a workflow, I was explaining triggers and action, right? So in a workflow, there will be only one trigger. So this is one trigger, right? Again, it has stopped working. Again, it has stopped working. So I will just quit this and click again. Mm, maybe next time. Let's see if it is working or not. It's not working, so we'll refresh this. So let's say, and we'll try on this website if it is working. Yeah, it is working here. So let's try again here. So this extension, just download it for this video and it's not working. It's not. So what we'll do, we'll copy this link and paste in a new tab. Maybe it's working in new tab. I'm not sure why it's not happening. But yeah. So the point here is we. Oh, 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 okay. Let's clear and if you do undo, it has to work, right? If you this is the technical glitch of this website, right? Okay, I will just pause the video and then uh, restart.